Welcome to MS Confidential, a monthly webcast series consisting of real, raw conversations that are unfiltered about navigating the day to day chaos that comes with living with multiple sclerosis. These conversations occur between four people living with various stages of MS: Elizabeth Jameson, Kyle Cronick, Jessica Oler, and Annie Brewster. So tonight's topic is about hope, which is very layered and complex, as Elizabeth will tell us in just a few moments. It can be fleeting and it can be perpetual all at the same time, and sometimes it comes crashing down even in moments of feeling the highs and the lows. I could say more about it, but instead I'm going to share some of Elizabeth's thoughts that she put out to her community just a few days ago. Don't forget, by the way, you can always put your comments and questions in the chat box because we will have the Q&A session in just a little bit. Let's get to it.
Hope is such an ambiguous term. It's so complex. And it's a noun, it's a verb. So, what the hell are we talking about when we're talking about hope? For me, it's very different than anyone else. We all have different renditions of hope or whatever it means. When I was exacerbating MS, hope was really keyed to the drugs I was taking. Were they working? Were they not working? Should I be doing more homework to get a better drug? Now that my disease has progressed to progressive MS, there are no drugs and that I'm on. I'm drug free, thank God. And there's no hope, I don't think, for late stage MS. And so I find it wonderful that I spend my energy on my internal life and how to be a better person. So my hope is internal, how I can accept my life and how I can be a better person, better wife, better person, better friend. And that to me is exciting.
Elizabeth, I'd love for you to share with us why you decided that hope was an important topic for this month's episode.
Well, I think it's important because MS is such a difficult disease and it we need hope in order to live our life fully, and we have to deal with the opposite of hope, which is sadness and depression, because it hope and sadness is flu uh, go together, and I really would like to have self-compassion, to love each other up, because it's a it's a shit show having MS, and I think we all need to understand how we deal with the complexities of MS. So I love to have everyone join in and talk about the topic. Thanks.
I agree with you, Elizabeth. This whole MS thing, it is a shit show with all its complexities, and uh, my relationship with hope has certainly changed over my disease course. Initially, I was very hopeful that this wasn't going to interfere with my life at all, but now it has interfered with every little part of my life. So, like Elizabeth was saying, I have really focused on the internal recently, and meditating. I was just reading a book, and I just hope for easier days, mentally mostly, because I kind of got this MS thing down.
Yeah, I don't know. I think your video is really powerful, Elizabeth, and as is your truth. I suppose that's an innate thing. And also, I mean, hope hope, I feel like even when things were really bad on every level, hope is the thing that like got me to this exact moment. If I didn't have hope, I wouldn't have kept going on any level. You know, I remember that day when I pulled up and I didn't know what was going on. And then I got the news, right? And I remember just, I don't know. If I didn't have hope, even when all I saw was despair, all I felt was despair, I wouldn't be here literally or figuratively. I'm not trying to, that's not like, I'm not giving an air of like suicide. I'm just saying I don't know where my life would be or what choices I would have made if I didn't have some level of hope.
I get that.
Me
Yeah.
too. Me
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
The way
Yeah.
I think of it is like continually redefining hope. I don't think hope is
Mm,
one thing. I think we got to
Yeah.
keep changing what we're hoping
the
for.
spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I kind of come back to like without, again, I don't want to sound like saccharine or overly silver lining-y,
Mhm.
but I do feel like what's the alternative? That's kind of the wall I hit. It's like we are here on this planet living this life, and who knows if this is all we've got. Bless you, Jessica.
Sorry.
No, bless you, or whatever, you're coughing, but I hope you're all right. Get some water. Anyway, all I'm gonna say is like, who knows if this is it? And if it is, I feel like we gotta make what we can of it. And I mean, but this is me, like I can get too focused on like hope, and I welcome other opinions, but I sort of come to how else can I live except to find hope, and to do that I just redefine it in different ways as I go.
Want to say in the promotional video that I did, when I sit back and rewatch it, I think I was too cheery and too like I have this down. I'm
Mm.
I'm dealing with the internal self, so I'm being a better person. And I feel like it's true for about 10 minutes a day, and then it's not true the rest of the day. And some days it's 2 hours, but not more. So I don't want people to think I have it all together. I know what the answer. I don't know any answers. No one knows how to really make peace and accept our lives. We're on a road. Hopefully, at least I'm seeing my life as a long journey. And some days I feel like I have it down. I'm joyful. I'm happy. I don't even know I have MS. Um, and other days I'm drowning in what I can't do. So it's up and down, and hope is fluid.
Mhm.
And I think that's why I wanted to uh, discuss hope, because it's everything you can
Yeah.
think of, and is absolutely fluid,
It
up
is,
and down.
which is
And
the beauty. Oh, anyway, keep going. I just interrupted.
no, go ahead. No, please.
No, I was just gonna say I loved your video. I thought it was beautiful, and it is so fluid. So if like for
Mhm.
2 minutes on video screen, we can pull it together and articulate what hope is, that's
Yeah.
a win.
Mhm.
That's a win.
So Kyle, one thing I didn't understand what you were saying at all.
Okay.
You said you think you have it down now.
Well,
Is-
maybe I don't have it down, but I have gotten used to um, uh, expecting the unexpected, because this is all over the place. And like you're saying, hope is fluid, and I've been on the wrong side of the spectrum of hope this week. I've been feeling just depressed and hopeless as shit, and I'm so happy to see all of you guys, because just brightens my mood and gives me hope.
Definitely. But I also I want to say, Kyle, me, I feel relief when you are honest about saying that this week you have not felt hope, and that you're honest about that. I think that makes room for all of us to be real.
Absolutely.
It's been a hopeless few days.
Right.
Sorry.
But yeah, I feel like I'm coming out of it. Like I was sort of saying, I've been reading this book and meditating more, and just trying to redefine it, I guess, like you're saying, Annie.
And you're still here,
I'm still here, yeah.
right? And mind you, I'm not being preachy. I'm relating to you.
Yeah.
It's like you've been feeling like shit, but it sounds like from what you're sharing with us that you're, despite the feeling like shit, you're making choices. You're choosing to meditate. You're choosing to express yourself, which in my opinion is always a good thing. You're choosing to show up as a panelist for this amazing project, right?
That's right.
Which, from what you said, it lights you up.
That's right.
So it's
And
like
I was saying, like we were saying the other day, Elizabeth, right now it's just the ideation of hope, being able to get to that place again, of being hopeful, and I'm on the upswing. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, hope is a wild thing. And I don't even know if this, I'm remembering years ago, I was living in San Francisco. I was working for a tech company. So I was nobody's billionaire or anything, but my income was pretty high. Right? I can see you smiling, Annie. I'm trying to ignore.
No, I mean, no, I love you. I love you. I do.
I want the story.
Me too. Keep going.
Okay, this is and I would love y'all's feedback and thoughts. And if this sounds ridiculous, that's okay. So here's the thing. In that moment in my life, this was years ago, my mental health wasn't great. Okay. And also I can remember it's palpable. Again, my money flow was kind of high, tech company, whatever. I remember, despite feeling I was so depressed, I was just so depressed, and I was just reaching for any kind of joy. And I can remember being at this specific jazz club in downtown San Francisco, and it would just light me up. I'm a huge jazz head. And yes, there wasn't crazy amounts of alcohol, but there was also alcohol involved. That's kind of here nor there, but the point is, isn't there hope in that moment when you're feeling so depressed and you're reaching? Should you be drinking? Maybe not. Maybe it's this probably isn't helping your mental health. You probably shouldn't be drinking by yourself that much.
Been there.
I kept it classy, but you know what I mean? But it's
classy.
I can remember, right? I can remember.
I love that term.
Isn't that a form of trying? Because I wasn't trying to end anything. I was trying to find that happiness. There was that level of hopefully I can do this. I can find that happiness. What lights me up? Live music.
Yeah.
And the alcohol helped, but it was the live music.
Absolutely. I love your story. I think it's a great story. I think for me, what I come to in hearing that is bite-sized hope. That's what I'm thinking of. We need to look for little bite-sized bite-sized chunks of hope where we can get it.
Yeah.
And it might not be like all around us, but we just take those bites where we can get it. And that's what keeps us afloat. We have to.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know. Living with this illness is just such a journey. And just today, I like realized, like, golly, like, look how far I've come. Like, wow, I'm so thankful. I'm like, wow, this, it's just all, it's almost like I have no language. I don't know. I'll stop talking.
No, that's awesome. I like that you were feeling hopeful today. For the past, like, I guess since January 1st, I don't remember if it was really like an official New Year's resolution, because I don't really believe in those. But I started like trying to do a gratitude practice. I do think there's some value in that. Like every morning I write down 3 grateful things. And it
Yeah.
could be like it's often my cup of coffee is in the list. But doesn't have to be big. But it
Yeah.
helps me feel hopeful about my day ahead. It helps me start the day
Mhm.
feeling hopeful.
Yeah.
Small
What
thing.
what I've been trying to do is concentrate on what's one moment of delight every day. So
Delight. I love it.
delight,
Uh,
which is generally my wonderful cappuccino or some
well,
small things.
Yes.
But then if I just concentrate on 1 or 2 delights,
Yep.
that's probably as good as it gets, which is great.
it
I
is.
say it optimistically and
Mhm.
joyfully.
It is great.
And aren't those small things actually so big? Like I could start
Yes.
Hmm.
like, and obviously I'm speaking specifically to the experience of living with this illness, which is obviously very varied, right? There are so many diverse stories of how people deal with it, live with it, what, all of that.
Eh,
But aren't those small things so big? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
It's
Absolutely.
like there is feel good. There is, because we're allowed to feel good. Like that's something that we deserve. We deserve to drop our shoulders, go to the jazz club, hopefully when we're not in the worst mental space, and have a few drinks, listen to the music. This was way before the pandemic. So,
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. I want some live music. I'm dreaming right now.
I know.
Gosh.
you know,
Uh,
I think this topic is just so important.
it
And
is.
Yeah.
because I think that without hope, and I'm not even necessarily being religious or spiritual about it, that's fine if that's how people sit with it. But it's just, we deserve that. And we need that hope so we can live our life in a
Totally.
full, beautiful way, as however that may or may not look. So,
Here's a thing that just occurred to me is like, I don't think I would trust anyone or like anyone who was hopeful all the time.
Mm.
Me too.
that's
Yeah. Are you on
Driving
drugs?
crazy. What?
Are you on drugs?
No.
Well, the people that are hopeful all the time.
Oh, those
Oh, yeah.
people. Yes. I mean, who wants, that's just not real. Like, I love,
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
love about humanity is like the messy, complex
Mhm.
wonderfulness of ups and downs and everything. And I don't trust anyone who's always like, everything's great, because it's
Mm-mm.
not. I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not. And that's okay because we're humans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're pissed. You know what I mean? And everything in that moment, we're feeling that feeling. Like it's just,
Which is part of the beauty, I think.
yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Elizabeth, there was a moment in your video you said something and it's on the tip of my tongue and I was curious about it. You spoke about, maybe you kind of already answered this question or this reality in your video, but you spoke about the fact that it gives you you're not on medications anymore, and that makes you feel free. And then you spoke of how that gives you hope. Maybe I rearranged that and that's literally not what you said, but I remember wanting to hear more about that feeling and about that reality for you, if that's even what you said, if I'm saying that back correctly.
Love it. Thank you.
Mhm.
I, when I was exacerbating remitting, my
Mhm.
all focus is on which drugs I was with.
Mhm.
I was on every single drug and none of them seemed to work.
Yeah.
And it was so heavy on my mind, thinking, oh, well, I need to do another drug. I need to research. I need to figure out what's going on. And I took responsibility for my health.
Mhm.
And then when I was diagnosed, yes, it's definitely progressive. I'm taking off all drugs. So goodbye. And
Mhm.
that's how I felt, that I was fired by my neurologist, which
Mm.
is not true, but it's what I felt.
Mhm.
And I thought, oh my God, now I can stop thinking about my MS
Mm.
because I'm not on any drugs. And then I had to think, what am I going to think about? How am I going to define myself? I
Mhm.
thought, God, I have so much work I need to do in terms of my personal life, how to be a better person, how to take ownership over my MS. So
Mhm.
I can fall in love with my MS.
Mhm.
Sounds terrible, but I really, really am working out almost every day, thinking how much I need to really embrace my MS because it's
Mhm.
not going away,
Mhm.
and uh, I want it to be my friend. That takes, every day I have to think, no, don't be nasty to myself.
Mhm.
It's a MS. Thank you for having a happy, healthy day. So I'm thrilled not to be any drugs.
But
And
Elizabeth, what was that transition like? Like, that sounds hard if you felt like you were fired, quote unquote, from your neurologist. Was there
Mhm.
like a grief period? Like, did you immediately go to recognizing that you felt freer? Probably not. Was there like a transition where you felt more sad and then had to redefine hope, or what was that like? That's not a very good question, but maybe you understand what I'm saying.
I did. I was thrilled to be told you're too advanced for
Mhm.
any more drugs.
Mm.
I was
Like
absolutely
right away, you felt that.
right away. I
Wow.
longed for that time because nothing was working. I don't think any drug, including steroids, worked for me. So I was on chemotherapy and all the ABC drugs,
Mhm.
and I kept having more lesions. So what was the point?
Yep.
And
So it
then
was
I
like a
thought, oh my
relief.
God, now I can just be free and talk about, I can really think about meditation
Mhm.
Mhm.
and other things which I never had room for.
Yeah.
So am I depressed? Yeah, sure, because I have progressive illness
Mhm.
and I had COVID. Was I depressed? Sure. But
Mhm.
then I feel like, well, what I want some joy and delight. So maybe I'll have some baklava today.
Oh, yummy.
I, I love baklava. I
So
just keep thinking of
Me
my
too. Oh my
delights.
gosh. So good.
it's super.
It
Does
is.
that make sense? Did
Yeah.
I answer?
Yeah.
Thank you for explaining.
I
Yeah.
think like an important thing to talk about too is like,
Mhm.
what if we get so depressed and it happens, and you're just in that depression, and it's really hard to pull yourself out of that. And it's not as simple as like, I'm just gonna try and reframe. If you're like really in a bad
Right.
depression, how do
Yeah.
we pull out of that? Or like, that's hard. I mean, that's complex. I don't know. It takes a lot, but I
I
just
spent a long time in that state, like devoid of hope.
Yeah,
Uh,
me too.
and to tell you the truth, I don't know how I pulled it out, but I feel I can vividly remember that feeling of not having any hope. Although I've been depressed as fuck this week, I feel so far away from that,
from that.
um, from where I was. So
Right. It's like when you can see the surface and know you can swim up versus when
yeah,
you can't. Yeah. But it's interesting because it's hard in those moments like that many of us have had to know what exactly is that pulls us out, but something, but it's hard to define.
Yeah, it's not baklava.
Oh my God, now I really want some.
you don't know that.
No, but it's I
Baklava
think,
would help.
yeah, but
Baklava.
Annie, what you're saying is much more valid than
No,
is.
I think both are true. I think both are true. I just think there are times when people get so sunk in that it's really hard to work out, to pull out. And it's hard to ever pinpoint what it is that pulls us out. Maybe it's just
Yeah.
a shift in time. Maybe it's usually more than one thing. But yeah, I mean, but yay for feeling like when we can see the surface and pull ourselves out. And like, I guess it makes me think about how can we help each other when we're in that space,
Yeah.
Mm,
because
Yeah.
it's hard to be in that space. And it's also hard to help people in that space if they're not receptive to help at that time. Or so I don't know. But we have to try to like be life rafts for each other, I think.
I've been trying to figure that out too, Annie. Like how do you help somebody out in that situation? Like I don't know how to tell somebody else how to help me. But I'm receptive to receiving help, whatever that may look like.
Yeah.
So,
I think
but yeah,
these conversations are where someone really is like only going lower and lower into the depression and all of the not great results of how serious depression can get. I mean, you're an MD. I just think that, that's when like community comes in and having someone to start to say, hi, how are you?
yeah.
Maybe it doesn't change everything, but it's
Something.
some community
That's-
and having access to doctors,
yeah.
medications, maybe like if necessary, if it even gets to that level, a local 5150 situation, because it's real. Like it's not, crashing with depression, crashing into it and it just sinking lower. Like many others, I know how that is, and thankfully, I had access in the help I needed to be pulled out of that situation. So, yeah.
I have a question for you guys. Lisa dropped me in here because I was putting him over on the right. And I'm going to kind of flip this for a second because I had a different experience with hope. And I want to know if I'm like kind of an outsider or an outlier on this. But I'm only speaking for me, early stages of my neurological disorder, which is not MS, but was severely debilitating in those first 2 years. And I was chasing doctors and trying to get rid of it. I just wanted it to fucking go away.
Mhm.
And I eventually had to give up hope.
Mhm.
And I felt such a relief
Yes.
when
I
I
totally.
finally gave up. Just like, screw it. I'm gonna figure out how to live
Yes.
feeling like shit. And I'm gonna figure out how to do it as well as I can. So can you guys talk?
Yeah, like when I just hope for something else. forget about what I was hoping for. It's got to be something else, because obviously what I'm hoping for is not helping, and maybe worsening my mindset and my situation, because I'm not getting what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, because you feel helpless.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
hear it
that's,
like I hear it like a letting go kind of thing. Like
yeah.
letting go. And like the thing that I was thinking of is like when I was 22 or something, I did a 10-day meditation retreat. And in that, I like, you sit and meditate for hours and hours and hours and hours. And I had this really, really bad back pain
Mm.
that was bothering me. And I was like fighting against it, fighting against it, fighting against it. And then like I hit the wall with it because I mean I was forced to in those 10 days. And then I like something shifted and I like let go of it. Like I accepted it. I accepted
Mhm.
it. And not that that's like, I mean, my silly back pain is much different than the severity of what we're talking about with your illness, Kimberly, or MS, but there was something that transitioned where I just like stopped fighting
Yeah.
against it. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to let this in. And I relaxed. My whole body relaxed. And I didn't feel as much pain.
Hmm.
Elizabeth, you were nodding too.
Well, that's my experiences. I let go when I had the diagnosis of progressive MS. I'm quadriplegic, and I've had to say, oh, so I'm have to accept it and have it be my friend, even though that's again like 2 minutes a day. I'm happy and balanced and great, and maybe 5 minutes, what, maybe 3 hours, but not more than probably three hours. But yeah, giving up hope was so great. It was
Mhm.
so liberating. But
So
it's
maybe it's a hope for something else then. Like we're not hoping for a cure, but maybe it's hope, like you were saying, Kyle, it's hope for, Tamara said in the chat, she said, how to live your life in peace. So maybe you're feeling
Mhm.
hopeful
Yes.
for something different.
Hmm.
Or what
Yeah.
else? What do you hope for if you're not hoping for a cure?
Yeah, I don't like that word cure.
yeah,
I don't believe in cure.
Me neither, since it's not possible for
Uh,
us.
I don't
yeah,
like
I
that
wish
term
I
at
could be
all.
there.
Yes.
It's kind of stressful. The word kind of stresses me out. I don't know
I
why.
hate it too. I
Okay,
hate
maybe that's what it is.
it. Okay.
Like,
Or
I don't
I
need that
like,
shit. I don't need that stress.
yeah. Like if
No.
we're specifically to, I just feel like it's like, what about right now?
Right,
This fear thing is way,
Exactly.
way over there,
Exactly. Okay.
right here. You know
Yes.
what
Yeah,
I
that is what I've been trying to focus on just now, right now, be present.
Yeah.
Right.
That's one reason I haven't really been too present on social media these
mean?
days. I've been very present, not stuck behind my phone or other
Good for
screen.
you.
Um, and yeah, I think it's much needed.
I was
Yeah.
thinking, I like Elizabeth's analogy to like becoming friends with your MS. But what
Mhm.
I was thinking when you said that was like, what I want in a friend is not like someone I'm like always happily getting along with. Like for me, like a really, really good friend is someone that maybe I fight with sometimes, or
Hmm.
maybe we might butt heads or we don't agree, but then we do, and we love each other. And there's this like
right, right,
big love around it, but we might have conflict. So it doesn't mean that it's all going to be
right.
beautiful all the time, but it's real.
Mhm.
Mm. I'll never be friends with my MS.
Okay, yeah, all
I
right.
will not.
Really? I don't believe you, Kyle.
Ay.
Okay, I can exist with something I don't particularly like. That's life.
Well, I
We
believe
don't
you
have to be
will.
friends.
Well, you can be like a relative that was kind of obnoxious, but you
Okay,
accept the
yes.
relative. That's
Yes.
what MS is, sort of a obnoxious relative who's
Right.
always,
I've said that before. Like my MS is like having some obnoxious kids that I don't like.
yeah,
Uh,
that's great. Something that I'd love to talk about is the fear
mm,
that we hope that there's a lot of fear in me, which I repress and I
Mhm.
don't talk about with people because I don't know how to get a handle on it. I don't live in fear. I'm very positive. As everyone says, I'm too positive in these big
No,
announcements of
no, no one
Oh,
said that.
PSA.
You said that. You said that in your head. I don't think
Yeah, I
anyone
said it in my head.
oh,
else.
okay.
But we all have this fear, like a gun. We're looking through the barrel of a gun.
Mm.
That's what MS is. And then and hope is to fit in with that. And then how do you fit hope into this gun barrel? And I hope that being a little too dramatic, but it isn't for me because I have very little of my body left. It seems because I can't write, I can't brush my teeth, I can't comb my hair. So, and feel like I'm really starting to lose my voice. So I feel like, oh shit, what's gonna be left of me? But I'm very hopeful. I'm not hopeful, I'm happy. I don't relate to hopes as much as I'm really happy and I really love my life right now. But
Mm.
it, I'm dealing with two things: looking down the barrel of a gun and
mhm.
joy and delight, and
Yeah.
it's a lot.
A lot.
But it all works together, right?
Yeah.
Everything, I
Well,
feel like I said that, like it all is this thing that's happening all at once, like those small joys that are actually so big are so important to us because the barrel of the gun is in our face.
Hmm.
It's like these
yeah,
things happening at one point. So it's like, this is my why. I feel so happy today because of A, B, and C, because sometimes it's hard to get there and be there
right.
because reality of living with MS, because in the back of our mind, or maybe right in our face, there is this barrel pointing at us. Ugh, it's like the trigger. uh,
That you go to your jazz club, right,
Mhm.
Hmm.
yeah.
Jessica?
I what?
Eh, I was saying I'm trying to think of you and your jazz club. You
Oh
get
yeah.
your joy going to your jazz club. I get my joy with John Batiste. So when I get depressed, I play John Batiste on my stereo, crank it up loud, and I love that song, Freedom.
Mhm.
I love
Hmm.
that song.
Mhm.
So
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's medicine. It's necessary. But
it's
that
medicine.
barrel of that gun is real. It's a real thing, at least for me, and maybe it's also relatable for y'all. It's real. If it's not in front of my face, it has been living for 10, 11 years now, at least in a small way in the back of my mind.
Hmm.
What's going to
So
happen and then, and yada, yada, yada. So,
Yeah.
so
We've
do
been
you
getting
feel
some really amazing comments. I don't know if you guys are reading them over on the panel, but we have a new audience member, Maureen, today, and she's just been firing off these amazing things. And so we're going to bring her on
Hey,
today.
Maureen.
Hi,
So
Marcy.
Maureen, welcome. We just want you to join in on this conversation because you had some great things to say.
lovely.
Hi, thank you. Yes, one moment. I need to get my light brighter. I don't 1 second.
Take your time. We're glad you're here.
Yes.
I'll read one of the things she said, might spark some conversation. She says, they say struggle comes from wanting things to be different than they are.
Mm.
How do you feel about that?
That's true.
Yeah.
I think that's where the letting go comes in.
Yeah.
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 It's
Totally.
true, but it's natural to struggle too, right? I
It
mean,
is.
it's natural to
Mhm.
say, I don't want this.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Well,
there has to be a little bit of both, right? We have to resist, we have to push back, we have to fight for ourselves. So we have to at some point be pushing back, and then we have to accept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did someone just spotlight me? Take that away.
You're famous.
No,
Danny show.
maybe it's just me just seeing that there. Let's spotlight Maureen. That looks better.
Oh, hi,
Oh no, my face. But sorry about it being very dark. I wasn't.
No, it's good.
Oh, this is impromptu.
No, but it's wonderful being alongside all of you. Just everything that all of you have been saying. I just, ooh, just right here. You know. I mean, 100% all of it. I just, it's the same things I feel. So
You have MS yourself?
yes.
Okay.
So 12 years now. And I'm mainly in a tilt recline wheelchair. I can walk to like, like as long as I have a wall, like
Yeah.
I don't have to but mainly, yeah, I'm in the power chair because of weakness and fatigue too. So it helps me to function a lot better.
Yep.
How has your relationship to hope changed, Maureen, over these last 12 years?
Whew, it's it was very difficult for a long time. And then it turned into no hope at all.
Mhm.
And then it I can't even pinpoint exactly, but it just there was a point where I knew I couldn't live my life like this anymore.
Mhm.
Obviously MS wasn't going away, but I knew I couldn't kind of what you had mentioned earlier, Jessica, not about wanting to die or suicide, I think you mentioned, but it's just that feeling, you just didn't want to. So it took that, and then things just started changing. That's when I got the power chair, and then I just started doing more stuff for myself, and meditation really, really, really helped.
Mhm.
So I started that every day, and then I focused on my nutrition, and then that helped a ton.
Yep.
And now I've been really into spirituality, just really looking at things at a bigger perspective.
Mm.
And so I definitely have definitely have hope, and always have to have it every day, because I wouldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Feel you.
Mhm.
I yeah, know what you mean
There
by
it
that.
is. Yep.
It's like if I didn't have hope and sorry, for dinner I put a lot of cayenne pepper.
Mm.
It's like if I didn't have hope, then I would be I literally, and I'm not being super dark and like dramatic, I'm just being honest, like I really don't know what kind of who and where Jessica would be in life, because if I don't have hope, that means I don't have faith in anything, which means why try? why worry about what I'm eating? Why continue to move forward with my career goals? Why do anything? And that's really like that's very much for me, that's very much my truth. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't do shit.
Yeah.
I mean that seriously. Like I would not put all this work in if I really didn't have an ounce of faith, if I didn't have that ounce of hope. And I'm thankful that I do have it, because I would fall flat in the worst ways if I didn't have it. Like I'll start crying again. So
Now, Maureen, I really liked hearing your, like, the concrete things that you have focused on to help you get out of it, like the meditation
Mm.
and I forget what else you said, but I had it in my head, but it went out. But you said number of things that are like concrete that like help you every day. And I think that's really helpful to all of us to hear those things. Like, how do we structure our day? How do we wake up and feel like this is going to be a hopeful day? The question I still have is like, we've all sort of talked about like when you're in that like hopeless, and we all say we don't really know what got us out of it, but we kind of shifted out of it and we pulled ourselves out and now we feel it. That's like a black scary hole, a hole. It's like a black hole, right? It's like what's in that hole. And it just makes me want to say like we gotta check in with each other. And I don't know what pulls people out, but maybe it's just like, you know, noticing people around us and just saying, hey, I'm still here. I'm still here. Even if we don't have to be like, it can be annoying when someone's like, here, I'm going to solve all your problems for you. Like, but just someone saying, hey, I'm here for you. I'm here. That makes a difference for me. I don't know. What is it in those moments of that, like those low lows where it's hard to know what's going to pull you out and then something does?
I don't remember who said it, but somebody said something like, I don't want to live like this anymore.
Yeah.
You get to that point and you just get pushed to the brink and you're like, what can I do to not live like this? And then you find hope in things that could potentially make your days any more tolerable.
Yeah.
What I feel, and maybe you won't relate to this, I can't stand to be boring. And when I get really depressed,
Mm.
I eventually get bored with myself. And I
Mm.
can't stand being bored with myself. So that's how I get out of it. Going, oh my God, I'm so bored with myself. I'm so bored with this depression. I want a good, sexy movie, or I want something to get out of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
I can't stand to be boring. Maybe that's just me.
I got
Yeah.
moments too, Elizabeth, like when I'm just feel very like wrapped up in like the challenging stuff, like my body's doing something or something's going on that's directly a result of my diagnosis. I've actually had those moments of like, I'm bored of me. This is boring.
Right,
Like I don't care anymore. Like
right,
I'm talking to myself and I'm like, that's so funny. I literally say, this is boring.
right,
Like,
right,
I don't even care anymore. This is dumb and boring. I just,
right.
so that's interesting.
It sounds like though, you have to get to the really dark place before you have
Yes.
to almost surrender into the abyss. Like they say,
Yeah.
the dark is darkest before the dawn or whatever. Like you gotta just go there. I'm trying to think of like when I had some of my turning points, is because I finally just went there and got really dark first.
Yes.
And then that something transforms and just kind of that willingness to go there. I don't know. It's like,
Yeah, I somehow got to the point. You can see it on my Instagram. It's my username is gotta keep going.
Yes.
mhm.
Which I
So
love.
what started that was me getting to that mindset. Boom, it's documented.
Mhm. Yay.
Yeah, I love it. And I totally agree, Kimberly. Like you have to go to, I guess what just scares me is like, how do we know that we don't always know that someone's going to be able to hit that place where they can turn that corner? And that's
Hmm.
what
Yeah.
scares me because it can get dark.
It can.
The abyss is bad.
Yeah.
The abyss is bad. And it's really, it's funny that it's bad because I found with MS, I have felt that it has stripped me of choice,
Hmm.
but it's almost like in that abyss, it feels suffocating and it feels like you have no choice, but it's like you do. You really could make some very permanent decisions. I lost a train of thought. I don't know. The abyss is scary.
Yeah.
I
And I think
This
the
is
word
scary.
choice is critical. Like finding
Mhm.
that agency. I think that's critical. Like,
Mhm.
and was it you earlier, Jessica, who was like, I feel like I made a choice. Someone said something about choosing, I don't know, a cup of coffee. Am I imagining this? Choosing small things in our day, that it's a choice
Mhm.
that I don't know. I think
Elizabeth.
was that Elizabeth. I
Elizabeth,
think those little choices are really important.
they are. I 110% agree, because those little choices, they really are like big choices. Sorry, something's happening in my house and I'm like, what's going on? But my housemate's just home. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be distracted.
But it's work. But those choices
Mhm.
take a huge amount of work.
They
Yeah.
do.
Oh, yeah.
They take a lot of work. Huge.
They do, but they can also lift us up
Mhm.
if we
True.
make them.
I know for myself, like, I realized there was a point where I realized I kind of had that victim mentality. And when you have that, you feel like this took over me, and you feel like that
Mhm.
choice has been
Yeah.
taken away. But when you do shift it, you realize that there are so many more choices. And when you realize that, it gives you your power back. And that, I mean, that's what it did for me.
100%.
I,
Yeah, I love that.
Me
Yep.
too.
I know the other day, if you don't mind my sharing, I was in a very, very dark spot a few days ago, and I just didn't know, what to do to get out of it. But then it came to my mind that, sometimes there's always that anxiety, like, what if this happens? And it's always something terrible. And
Mhm.
I was like, what if something unbelievably amazing happened today? And I just kept that thought in my head all day. And I'm like, oh my God, like my day turned around. And I'm trying to remind myself to keep that thought every day, because literally in 1 second, something great can happen.
Mhm.
So being open. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear you. I'm glad to hear that mindset
Yeah.
for you.
Totally.
Yeah. Because it's true. Something amazing could happen. Right. It's hard to get to that mindset at times.
Sometimes it is, for sure.
But when you are there, it's a great frame for the day. What great thing's gonna happen today? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's
Like obnoxious, happy way, but like, and we're like, wow, like, have another day. What is this day going to present to me? What great things are going to happen today? It's super helpful to think that way.
it is, but it's only a tiny bit of our anyone, I think. You have to work really hard to achieve that.
I agree
5
with you,
minutes.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, totally.
Not an easy thing to achieve.
Mhm.
No matter how brilliant you are, how great you are, how religious you are, or non-religious you are,
Mhm.
it's a little bit goes a long way. And
Totally.
some days you won't have that good spirit, 2 minutes, good spirit.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
life is really hard.
I think for me,
Yeah.
it's like learning how to pat myself on the back for the which
Yeah.
I'm terrible at, by the way, but for the tiny
It's-
things, like maybe we could say like maybe instead of saying like something really big could happen, some days we might be able to embody that, but other days we might be able to say like, I chose to put half and half in my coffee and it was really delicious and an extra spoonful of sugar. I don't know. It could be like a tiny thing.
I
But
got the laundry done today.
all right.
That's a
And
big deal.
yeah.
yeah. And those could be really like, yeah, good job. And
Yeah.
allow ourselves to feel hopeful for those things.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm talking, I don't do a very good job with that, but
Yeah, me either.
I'm horrible at it. Horrible. We all I think this human nature, just I'm horrible at self-compassion.
maybe.
Yeah.
I talk a big line. I talk a big line. Self-compassion, balance, meditative, and
I'm
it's
meditative.
and I'm full of shit, you know. I try.
You're pretty good though.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
Well, we try.
Also, you make
try.
me feel hopeful. You all do. So I think that's another thing. Like we feed it from each other. Like I feel hopeful
Yes.
from you
Yeah.
guys.
A little bit of connection can go a long way.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Projects like this. And again, I said it before, I'm so thankful to be part of it because this is hope in our hands.
Yeah, there you go. There it is. That's what pulls me out of dark places. I've been in dark places for days now. I don't feel like I'm in a dark place anymore. Thanks for pulling me out, y'all.
And like this is where the magic is. This is the cream in the coffee.
Yeah.
Huh?
The cream of the
Jessica,
coffee.
you're-
Nice job.
Jessica, you're brilliant. Jessica, you're brilliant. I love this.
I'm just a weirdo. No.
And you're a weirdo. You are a weirdo, but you're a brilliant weirdo who likes
Just artist.
jazz.
The
I
jazz.
know. Here's the image when I'm feeling stressed. I'm gonna like close my eyes and think of Jessica in a jazz club. Dark, smoky air, jazz music playing. She's swaying. I feel it.
And I really am that person. Like I'm not y'all like performative. I'm really in a zone.
It's gonna
Wow.
make you feel peaceful.
Yes. Maybe tipsy, but sure. Peaceful too.
That helps.
Well,
Drugs are good.
As usual, I feel really awkward jumping in to cut you all off because I know you guys will just keep going and going and going, which is great.
Yes.
But before we wrap, because Annie said something really beautiful about the little things that give you hope, then allowing that. So I'm just curious, tomorrow, since we won't all be together, what one little piece of hope do you have for tomorrow? Whether it's doing the laundry or being grateful or petting your dog, what's your hope for tomorrow?
I hope I am productive with my schoolwork that I have been neglecting the past few days while I've been depressed.
What about you, Elizabeth?
I want to remind myself about the wonderful people who are around myself. I mean, all my friends and supporters. They keep me going, and I need to appreciate that so much.
Jessica, what about you?
Tomorrow's gonna be a busy day, but like outside and inside of that, I just hope that I remember that I'm lucky enough to face the day and experience the day. You know what I mean? And do the thing to the best of my ability. With this
Jessica,
sunshine, it's like wild.
And
you're
Maureen,
incredible.
not to put you on the spot, but if you have a hope for tomorrow, what might it be?
Well, I have a very, very busy day tomorrow as well that I'm dreading. So my hope is that I can go throughout my day and remember that this is just a day and that the next day won't be as busy as this, you know. I mean, not every day is going to look like that day. So
Every day is a new day.
there you go.
And Annie, since you brought us to that point, what's yours?
Guess I'd say I hope that I can like find a moment or a couple moments to pause and just to feel and appreciate all the good that's around me, because I sometimes move too fast or just keep taking on more like pause, see the good, let in the love. My kids, I'm thinking of my kids, just like feel it. They'll probably be yelling at me, but maybe not. Okay. That's it. That's my hope.
Well, I hope all of those hopes come true. So I'll be thinking about that. So we're going to wrap, but as usual, I just want to say thank you to our partner, Kimberly, too. Maureen, also thank you for joining on a
Maureen,
whim
thank
like
you.
that.
Nice to meet you, Maureen.
I mean, really, we appreciate that. It, takes some, Elizabeth likes to talk about vanity. We had a whole episode on vanity, so it takes a, not worrying about what people think of you, to say, sure, I'll join, why not? But I just want to say, if you want to watch any previous episodes, they're at unfixedmedia.com. And you'll find it under MS Confidential. And also, if you find this useful, please tell your friends who you
Yes.
think might
please.
want to enjoy this, want to take part in the conversation. That's really what we're trying to do here. So until next month.
Aquamarine.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a nice
you.
day,
Bye,
y'all.
everybody.